The room was silent except for the faint hum of the air conditioner. I stared at her, watching as she paced back and forth, each step more restless than the last. Her face was flushed, her eyes wide with frustration. But beneath that anger, there was something else, something darker. She had asked for my help. No, not my help, my support. That was the word she used. And for the past few months, I had given her exactly that. But now she was screaming at me as if I were the enemy. I never asked for this. Her voice cracked as she spun around, hands raised in frustration. I just needed someone to lean on, not to control me. A pang of emotion struck my chest, a mixture of anger and confusion. She had said it herself. She wanted my support. But wasn't this what support looked like? I had tried to guide her, to steer her through the chaos she had gotten herself into. Every time she came to me, I dropped everything to help. I thought that's what she needed, what she wanted. I opened my mouth to explain, but she was already storming out of the room. "I can't do this anymore," she yelled, slamming the door behind her. I sank onto the couch, my mind racing. What went wrong? What had changed between us? It wasn't just an argument. It was something deeper. It was the weight of all those small moments, the ones where I had stepped in, tried to guide her, tried to help, only to be met with resistance. She never wanted control. She had made that clear from the start. But somewhere along the way, I had mistaken support for something else. 2 weeks passed. She wouldn't answer my calls. No messages. No texts. I had no idea where she was. The distance between us grew wider. With each passing day, the silence was unbearable. But it was all that remained. Then, one evening, I got a call. A private number. My heart skipped a beat when I saw it on the screen. My hand trembled as I answered. "Hello," I said, my voice tight with anticipation. It was her, but she sounded different. Her voice was shaky, almost unrecognizable. I need you," she said, her words coming out in a broken whisper. "I made a mistake. I need your help." My heart pounded in my chest, but something in her voice unsettled me. Something wasn't right. "What happened?" I asked, trying to steady my breathing. I got myself into something bad. I didn't think it through. I thought I could handle it on my own, but now I don't know what to do. Her voice wavered, panic rising. I could feel the weight of the situation pressing down on me. That familiar sense of responsibility swept over me. She was back. She needed me again. And I couldn't let her drown, not after everything we'd been through. "Where are you?" I asked, my voice softer now, trying to reassure her. She gave me an address, on the outskirts of the city. It led to a rundown building. My gut told me something was off, but I couldn't ignore her. Not now. I grabbed my keys and drove there. When I arrived, the building was eerily quiet. The windows were covered in grime, and there was no sign of life in the area. I hesitated for a moment before stepping inside. The hallway smelled of dampness and decay. The dim light flickered above me as I cautiously moved forward. Her words echoed in my mind. I made a mistake. At the end of the hall, I found the door she had mentioned. My hand gripped the handle, and I pushed it open slowly. She was there, sitting on the floor, her head in her hands. Her clothes were wrinkled, and her makeup was smudged. When she looked up at me, her eyes were filled with desperation. But there was something else in them now. "Guilt. Thank you for coming," she whispered, her voice barely audible. I knelt beside her, my heart heavy with concern. "What happened?" "Talk to me." She hesitated, her fingers trembling as she fidgeted with the fabric of her shirt. Then finally she spoke. "I got involved with the wrong people. I thought I could fix things on my own, but it was bigger than I realized. They've been threatening me, and I don't know what to do." The weight of her words crashed down on me. This was far beyond anything I had imagined. I reached for her hand, trying to comfort her. But then, a sickening realization hit me. I wasn't just helping her anymore. I was rescuing her. And this wasn't the kind of support I had thought I was giving. She had wanted to tell me earlier. "Why didn't you say something sooner?" I asked, my voice quiet but firm. I was scared, she admitted, tears welling in her eyes. But I didn't want you to control me. I didn't want to lose what we had. I thought I could handle it alone. Her words cut deep. She hadn't trusted me. She hadn't trusted my intentions. I had only tried to help, to guide her, but instead I had pushed her away. My concern had turned into control, and now she was suffering because of it. Before I could respond, a loud crash shattered the silence. The door slammed open. Men in dark clothing stormed in, their faces concealed behind masks. They weren't here to talk. My heart pounded. I had to act fast. I stepped in front of her, ready to shield her, ready to fight for her, even if it meant losing everything we had built. The weight of the moment pressed down on me. I wasn't just protecting her life. I was fighting for my own redemption. Stay behind me, I told her, my voice unwavering. And trust me. The men advanced. I knew there was no turning back. When it was all over, when the dust had settled and I had pulled her away from that dangerous world, we stood together in the quiet aftermath. She was safe, but the silence between us felt heavier than ever. I'm sorry, she said softly. I thought I needed space. I thought I needed control over my own life. But I didn't see how much you were trying to help me. I looked at her, realized that what she had truly needed all along wasn't just support. It was trust. And I had failed to give it to her. I should have been there for you the way you needed. I admitted, my voice low, but I didn't listen. I made it about control. And now, I've lost something I can never get back. Her eyes filled with regret. But there was something else in them, too. Understanding. Maybe it's not too late, she murmured. Maybe we can find our way back. I didn't know the answer, but in that moment, I realized something important. Support without trust wasn't support at all. And now, we both had to figure out if we could rebuild what was broken, one step at a time. As we stood there in the dimly lit room, the weight of everything that had happened hung between us. I could feel the distance, not just the physical space, but the emotional gap that had grown between us. She had been through so much, and so had I. But what struck me most was how we had both misunderstood what the other needed. I should have listened, I whispered, almost to myself. Her eyes softened as she reached out, her hand gently resting on my arm. It's not just about listening, she said. It's about understanding. I thought I could handle it alone, but when everything fell apart, I realized I needed someone who truly saw me, not just the version of me I wanted to be. There was a long pause before she spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know if we can go back to what we were before, but I'm willing to try if you are. Her words felt like a lifeline thrown into the deep waters between us. Maybe we couldn't erase the past. Maybe we couldn't undo the damage. But there was a chance, however small, to rebuild something new from a wreckage. I could hear the regret in her voice, but I could also hear something else. Hope. I hadn't lost her completely. Not yet. I'm willing to try, I said, my voice thick with emotion. But this time, we do it together. No more control. Just real support. Real trust. Her gaze softened, and for the first time in weeks, I saw a flicker of the woman I once knew. Not the one who kept pushing me away. Not the one who feared being controlled. But the woman who, at some point, had truly needed me. In a way I hadn't understood. I'll trust you, she said, her eyes locking onto mine. But I need you to trust me, too. A quiet moment passed, perhaps too quiet for the chaos of our world. But in that silence, something shifted. It wasn't perfect. We weren't healed. But there was a fragile thread between us now. And if we both put in the effort, it would be strong enough to hold us together. As we stepped out of the building into the uncertain night, I couldn't help but think, maybe we had a chance after all.